let us innovate in financing the MSMEs itself. Banks have been financing the MSMEs on the basis of AAA rating, AA rating, AA plus, double P plus. These don't work in the micro and the SME segment. These cannot work for financing the micro sector and financing the small sector. Please innovate, please let us take a pledge and we can innovate some methodology by which some credit rating of the small sector or the micro sector can be developed and we can fund that. That will be a major challenge and that will be a very good. I thought that I must use this occasion as we must develop some innovative way of financing the micro and the small sector. That is the one thing. Secondly, I would urge upon you for keeping at least 1% of your financing for innovation. I come from the state where the Jugaad word got invented, Punjab. I was born and brought up in Punjab. That is Jugaad. Jugadu state we call, and Jugadu, all the Jugaad, so-called Jugaad has come. Of course, now there is a management book on Jugaad. But this Jugaad is I am not talking of innovation as Jugaad. Innovation is much more than Jugaad. That is, but we must be financing all these Jugaads which have been shown by in the thing. None of them, I can be sure, has been funded by any bank or by any government organization. They have come. But we must somehow develop some innovation if we can develop, and we can keep aside 1% funding. That will be more than enough for innovative products. And as Dr. Shivaji mentioned, we can bring that innovation on board in the district level bankers committee meeting, state level bankers committee meeting, or maybe on the bank's board meetings also. If we can bring it, that will be really a good change, and we will do something, because all these are micro and small enterprises. All these innovations will develop into micro and small enterprises. Therefore, I am more concerned as Secretary MSME that these type of innovations must be encouraged.
इस आयोजन को बधाई देना चाहूँगा। मेरी जानकारी में ये शायद पहला ऐसा आयोजन हुआ है जिसको फेस्टिवल ऑफ इनोवेशन के रूप में कहा जा सकता है। इस बात को प्रकट करता है कि इस समय इनोवेशन से संबंधित चीजों का अत्यधिक निर्माण हो, इस दिशा में सामान्य युवक भी और सामान्य उद्यमी भी बड़ी तेजी के साथ प्रयासरत है। मैं सूक्ष्म, लघु और मध्यम मंत्रालय को देख रहा हूं और मैं कह सकता हूं कि एमएसएमई बिना इनोवेशन के चल नहीं सकता, उसकी कल्पना नहीं की जा सकती। इनोवेशन ही उसका आधार है और एमएसएमई देश के विकास की दिशा में महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका का निर्वाह करता है। हमें जानकारी है कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के क्षेत्र में 45% का योगदान है, एक्सपोर्ट के अंदर 42% का योगदान है और जीडीपी के अंदर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्टर में 8% और सर्विस सेक्टर में 30%, लगभग 38% का योगदान है। और इसलिए इस दिशा में एमएसएमई को बढ़ावा देना और एमएसएमई को बढ़ावा देने का तात्पर्य अधिक से अधिक इनोवेशन के आधार पर कार्य करना, ये निश्चित रूप से देश को आगे बढ़ाने के दिशा में महत्वपूर्ण कदम होगा। अभी हम देख के आए, एग्जीबिशन देख के आए हैं और मुझे बड़ी प्रसन्नता हुई कि एमएसएमई से संबंधित भी जितना भी इनोवेशन है और भी लोगों का काफी अच्छा था। देखने वाला लगा कि सचमुच हमारा युवक अगर थोड़ा सा भी उसको अवसर प्राप्त हुआ तो उसका इस समय इनोवेटिव माइंड इतना तेजी के साथ काम कर रहा है कि आगे चलकर हम लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी को कितना आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं, उसके माध्यम से कितना महत्वपूर्ण कार्य कर सकते हैं, इसकी कल्पना की जा सकती है।
I'll quickly touch on 3 ideas related to financing for the startup ecosystem. The first idea I want to discuss a little bit is about innovating in India. We know that there is in fact a lot of innovation happening in India that's based on models that have been applied around the world. And very often, particularly in e-commerce and some of the other sectors, people look at China or the United States and say, let's try and do that in India. But I think what is special about what is happening in India, what is special about some of the work that's being done through Honeybee and others, is that we are trying to solve India's problems. And some of these problems are unique and at scale in India in a way that's unprecedented anywhere else in the world. Whether it's clean energy, affordable health care, whether it is skill development, these problems if we can solve in India, we are solving not just India's very large and intractable problems, we are also solving some of the world's biggest problems as well. So I want to really ensure that, as we think about our startup ecosystem, as we think about innovation in India, that we are able to encourage the work that's happening to solve India's problems. So we truly are innovating in India for India. And with that as the bedrock, with that as really the fundamental priority for us, I do want to speak as a former venture capitalist who has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in India and achieved some successes and some failures as well. I have seen thousands and thousands of business plans and thousands of entrepreneurs and thousands of innovators as well. What you will always hear from innovators and from entrepreneurs is that there isn't enough money, that the financing is not available, that bank capital is not available. My own experience is, as somebody who's written lots of checks, that there is no shortage of money. There is no shortage of money. There's actually no shortage of innovation as well. We have tremendous innovation happening in India. All kinds of extraordinary ideas are pouring forth from our universities, from our technologists, from our scientists. What we really lack in India are scarce resources, neither capital nor innovation. Our scarce resource, ladies and gentlemen, is entrepreneurs. And when I say entrepreneurs, I mean something very specific. I mean a person who is a high quality business person and is a high integrity business person. A high integrity business person. And when I was a venture capitalist, the first question after the preliminary discussion, I would ask an entrepreneur is, are you prepared to work in a board-managed company following world-class corporate governance principles? And frankly, that would filter out a huge number of people, because no entrepreneur wants to let control of the company slip away from them. They don't necessarily want a board-managed company. But if companies have to scale, if they have to attract capital, they have to attract institutional backing, they have to be a board-managed company with the best corporate governance principles. And of course, you have to have everything else that goes with that: scalable business models, high-quality entrepreneurial teams, and so on. That's very hard to find, but that's how we have to think, and that's what we need to do in terms of training and equipping our business people who really want to build these businesses. Innovation in some ways is the easy part. 95% of the problem is building large scalable businesses that can return cash back to investors. How do we do that? That's really the hard part of financing innovation, financing entrepreneurship, and that's the scarce resource. That's where we have to spend a lot of time. What we've tried to do through the India Aspiration Fund, as Dr. Shivaji was saying, through creating a pool of domestic limited partners, by opening up alternative investment funds in India, we've completely changed the tax and regulations associated with alternative assets in India in the last 2 years, is to be able to take away some of the bottlenecks, some of the inhibitions for capital to flow easily and quickly into the sector. What we've also tried to do through Niti Aayog, the money that we put into the Atal Innovation Mission, through the money that's going into incubators and grand challenges, is to provide support at the early stage of the ecosystem. So as far as financing is concerned, early stage, later stage, IPOs, all of those aspects of the capital side we've tried to address. But we need to do a lot more as far as really supporting and building up our entrepreneurs are concerned.
One of the biggest challenge that the world is facing today, that we are facing modern problems and we are trying to solve them with antiquated tools. The challenges of today cannot be met by using such weaponry which is no longer useful in today's context. And therefore the biggest necessity of facing these new challenges is how do you make new ideas work? And to make these new ideas work, we have to first get rid of some of the inhibitions of the past. As a great philosopher J. Krishnamurti would say, for the biggest enemy of a human being is his own past. Your experiences will come in the way of not allowing you to think differently. And that's why we really need to start from the basic, start thinking differently, so that we could actually get into the new ideas into place. I think this financing part, which we are discussing today, I think one is innovation, how it should be financed. But innovation is an end product. What is really necessary is a starting point from where the whole idea is born, and that whole system, the ecosystem, that would facilitate to take it to the logical conclusion. And if that has to be done, then we must also think parallelly how to finance the ecosystem itself. Because you cannot just finance an innovation unless you are actually trying to finance the building block itself. So I think really need to be seen is the whole, holistically, how do you look at these financing issues in a significant way. Talking about ecosystem, and I think there is no better place of innovation, at least in modern times, is something like Silicon Valley. But I think along with Silicon Valley, one should also look at a very interesting concept of research triangle, which is little far from there in North Carolina. I think if you don't bring in together all the elements that would actually create this entire system work, will not be able to work on that. And therefore, I think bringing in all the stakeholders, making sure they are themselves viable, they produce enough surpluses so that it can be properly reinvested into the activities that are necessary, are also things to be kept in mind. So I think bringing in this entire ecosystem, I'm sure you would be working on it because you talked about it. And I think that could really be one of the great things. I think we really look at great challenges and therefore there are great opportunities. But one of the things is the inhibition which I talked about also may arise out of our entire education system. Because if we start thinking in a regimented manner, that is the first inhibition for innovation. So I think how do you make sure that we bring in more flexibility in our thinking, right at an age at which we are impressionable, and therefore that would really help us to go in that particular direction. I know there are challenges and therefore there are opportunities. I think innovation is the best opportunity to address those challenges. I think in the railways, we have decided to work on some of these issues. Rashtrapati ji, I am very happy to say that in this railway budget which I presented to the Parliament only a few days ago, we have talked about creating an innovation fund. And I have set aside a small amount of 50 crores for that. And we have also spelled out some of the issues around which we like to have the first wave of innovation taking place. But we also decided to encourage innovation outside of the railway system, because we realize that there is nothing like a railway system can innovate itself disregarding the reality of outside world. For example, there wouldn't have been email born if there was no Pentagon. But Pentagon created emails for their own communication system, but a whole world benefited from it. So I think we really need to look at this system as a whole, and therefore railways have decided to work on this.
दो चीज़ों पर विचार करें. एक कन्वर्शन ऑफ वेस्ट इनटू वेल्थ, ये एक बहुत बड़ा चैप्टर है जिसमें बहुत बड़ा पोटेंशियल है. इससे हमारे पर्यावरण की समस्या सुलझाई जाएगी. और दूसरा हमारा जो नॉलेज है, ज्ञान विज्ञान और तंत्र विज्ञान, दैट कन्वर्शन ऑफ नॉलेज इनटू वेल्थ, जिस पर हम लोग काम कर ही रहे हैं. मैं दो चीज़ें राष्ट्रपति महोदय आपके सामने रखूंगा जो प्रयोग मैं बहुत 15 साल से ऐसे प्रयोग करते रहता हूँ. मैं महात्मा गांधी विज्ञान इंस्टीट्यूट वर्धा में गया था, तो वहाँ जो बाल काटते हैं महिला भी और पुरुषों की, उससे एम्यूनो एसिड बनाया था. दैट इज़ रिसर्च फ्रॉम महात्मा गांधी विज्ञान इंस्टीट्यूट वर्धा. वो देखकर मैं आया और मैंने अपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में कुछ लड़कों को इकट्ठा करके हेयर कटिंग सैलून और ब्यूटी पार्लर से उनको बाल कलेक्ट करने के लिए कहे. तो 50 रुपये किलो से बाल लेना शुरू किया और उससे केमिस्ट्री के प्रोफेसर को कहा कि हम एम्यूनो एसिड बनाएंगे. एम्यूनो एसिड इतना इम्पोर्टेंट एग्रोकेमिकल है कि जो बनाया तो किसानों को उसका इतना फ़ायदा हुआ कि 900 रुपये की वो बॉटल हम 200 रुपये में देते थे. तो दुकानदारों ने कहा कि आप इतना सस्ते में क्यों दे रहे हैं. अब धीरे धीरे इतना पॉपुलर हुआ कि इस साल उस संस्था को 2 करोड़ रुपये प्रॉफिट हुआ. फिर वो एम्यूनो एसिड उन्होंने पेंट वॉश और जो प्रेस मड आता है शुगर फैक्ट्री में उसमें डाला और वो दुबई गए। तो दुबई के सरकार ने वो बायो फर्टिलाइज़र को इतना पसंद किया कि उनको 300 करोड़ का ऑर्डर दिया और अभी वो तिरुपति से 5 ट्रक बाल खरीद के ला रहे हैं और एमिनो एसिड बना रहे हैं। तो उससे बहुत बड़ा रोजगार मिला। तो एक दिन मेरे मन में आया कि हमारी जो म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन है उसमें गंदा पानी है, हम इसको बेचें। तो जैसे मैंने बेचने की बात की तो सभी मेयर से लेकर कमिश्नर तक मेरे को हंसने लगे। और आज हमारा प्रोजेक्ट तैयार हुआ है और हम लोग महाराष्ट्र सरकार के बिजली प्रकल्प को वो गंदा पानी रिसाइकलिंग करके बेच रहे हैं, जिससे 18 करोड़ रुपए हर साल हमको रॉयल्टी मिल रही है। अब उस पानी से फिर मेरे ध्यान में आया कि उससे मीथेन निकलता है, तो हमने अब उसमें मीथेन निकालकर उससे बायो सीएनजी CO2 अलग करके बायो सीएनजी निकालने का प्रोजेक्ट डाला है और हमारी 100 बसेस अब बायो सीएनजी पर चलेगी। अब हमने एक सर्कुलर निकाला है कि बिटुमिन रोड में आप 8% प्लास्टिक यूज कर सकते हैं। अब राष्ट्रपति महोदय, हमारे डांबर का रेट है 45 रुपये किलो। तो मैंने हमारे महाराष्ट्र सरकार को एक सुझाव दिया है, म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन को दिया है कि महिला बचत गट जो है वो 30 रुपये किलो से वेस्ट प्लास्टिक खरीदी करें। वेस्ट प्लास्टिक की कीमत 12 से 15 रुपये किलो मार्केट में है और वो केवल महिला बचत गट ही खरीदी करें और 5 रुपये मार्जिन वो महिला बचत गट लें और वो 35 रुपये के भाव से डांबर रोड जितने बन रहे हैं, जो प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना बन रहे हमारे रोड में बन रहे, उसमें 8% हमने मैंडेटरी किया है और उसको अलाउ किया है। तो ये पूरा प्लास्टिक 45 रुपये किलो से अगर उसमें जाएगा तो ये लाखों महिलाओं को प्लास्टिक इकट्ठा करने में, वेस्ट में वैल्यू क्रिएट करने से उनको रोजगार मिलेगा।
Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, once an innovation enterprise takes off, bringing in revenues, the degrees of difficulty in accessing financial resources reduce. In the growth and expansion phases, where the goals and scalability and market penetration norms to secure bank loans become easier to fulfill. It is, however, the preliminary stage which poses a bigger challenge for the innovation entrepreneurs, financiers, and policymakers alike. To my mind, there has to be a hybrid model rather than a one-stop solution for financing of innovations. New age financing options like angel investors, venture capitalists, crowdfunding, seed finance, and innovation on technology funds can meet the special requirements of innovation projects at formative stage. Having said that, the banking sector remains crucial for an innovation culture to take deep roots in the country. A thriving and supportive financial sector is the key to a nation's performance on the innovation front. We cannot allow the many innovations taking place at grassroots levels to languish for want of financial support. I have said earlier that trinity of innovator, entrepreneur, and financier has to be linked through a strong network mechanism. A cooperative spirit can help in the flowing of many budding ideas. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, many potential innovators require technical expertise to take their novel ideas to the market. Banks and other financial institutions, over and above their financing function, can also play a facilitatory role in this regard. They can help innovators tie up with entrepreneurs interested in the new ideas with relevant institutions for assistance on validation, design, market feasibility, and setting up of enterprises.